Hello my dear investors. In this video I'll conclude the last part of my spreadsheet. And so we made a video what I put inside in the income statements, all the different numbers. We made a video in short what I put inside the cash flow, and we made a video on the balance sheet, the assets, liabilities, all the different things. And then we have here I put here all the different ratios. Now I'll make an entire playlist of all the different kind of ratios I do. I do a lot of ratios. That will be I'll explain everything by separately, each ratio, everything what I do. So the last thing I do is I put in the earnings per share and the book value. And so earnings per share is each company to have it in the statements, have how much they earned per share. And the book value, the way I calculate it, is the tangible book value. So I'll take the net tangible equity, which means the tangible assets the company has minus all the liabilities, divided to all the shares outstanding. So the shares outstanding will be all the shares the company sold minus all treasury shares. So if the company, let's say they sold 100 million shares and they bought back 10 million shares, so the shares outstanding would be the 90 million shares, because the 10 million shares that the company bought back is not part of the company in some way. So we basically want to know how much is the book value. If the company gets liquidated, how much is the value of each share. So we're taking the net tangible assets divided to all the shares outstanding. That's the book value and the earnings per share. Now we would like to see the book value growing up every single year, but sometimes the company would sell more shares, or sometimes they will buy back shares. So you have to know the story of the company, what's going on. But if a company's book value is going down every single year, that's a big, huge red flag. And of course, if the earnings per share is going down, that's also. So basically, I'll conclude this part of my spreadsheets. So we had the income statements, we had the cash flow statements, we had the balance statements, and the earnings per shares and the book value. And so this whole part of all the different ratios I do, that I'll explain each thing in separate. Now I want to conclude this video with a famous value investor by the name of Monish Pabrai. He's very famous. He's you check him up on listen to his lectures. He has a lot of good things to say. I want to finish this part of the introduction to my spreadsheet. I want to finish it by bringing Monish Pabrai fifth commandment.
Then commandment 5, thou shalt never use Excel. So this actually kind of goes hand in hand with commandment 4, and even it goes hand in hand with not having an investment team. But basically, if you can figure it out in your head, so the investment process is really quite simple.
Okay, so I totally agree with Monish on what he says. And if you'll ask why do I use Excel and why do I use a spreadsheet, if I agree to him, so the reason is like this. The way I conduct my research is I look for all different kind of value investments that I'm interested in. And the first thing I do is I put in the number in my spreadsheet. So this isn't, I don't base my decision to buy and sell a company on these numbers. I learned the story, I learned a lot of other things. This is just my jump start. So I use Excel as a way to decide, is the company worth to continue looking into. I don't use this to analyze if this company is a buy or not. So I totally agree with Monish. You need to use your brains. You need to think by yourself. You need to think outside the box. Don't just go by the numbers. So Warren Buffett does this, he does that. No, that wouldn't work for you. That would just you'll stay for the rest of your life a good investor. If you want to become a great investor, you have to think by yourself. You have to work by yourself. You have to use your common sense. So I totally agree with Monish. Don't use Excel. But for me, my Excel is like saying don't look a company up in Yahoo Finance. No, that's you're not going to buy a company based on what Yahoo Finance says or what a different company says. But you want to look for the company. So for me, before I decide to do a lot of amount of research into a company, my first step is to check out the numbers. So that's why I use my spreadsheet. It helps me find a lot of red flags, but that is not what I base my decision if to buy or sell a company. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this video.